misses. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I hadn't seen such riches, I could live with being poor. Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 down. Sympathy.
Evening, everyone. So tonight we're going to have a little fun show. Kenny and I are going to come up with our worst Arsenal players and try and make the worst 11 that we've ever seen play for Arsenal. And we both agree the hardest position to find the worst was the goalkeeper. Let's be fair, Kenny, we've not really had that many bad goalkeepers. We
haven't. We've been very lucky. I think left backs is it's an area where we've always been traditionally strong as well. And it's although if you look at this team now, we have reservations about our current left back, but traditionally under going through Terry Neal, even you go back Bertie Mee, but you think of left backs like Bob McNabb, McNabb, Sammy Nelson, then you had Kenny Sampson, Nigel Winterburn, Arsenal, you had Savinio, and then after Savinio, you had Ashley Cole. And then, Gail Clichy was a good left back for us as well. So, it's a traditional left backs. We look at that position and say, yeah, we've got no problem there. They've been good players. And, Kieran Gibbs promised a lot, but he didn't really deliver. And then Monreal was just like, never let us down. So, you go like that. But it's all about the worst Arsenal players, and they're walking a plank today.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, I'm sure you're going to come up with some names that I haven't thought of. I haven't sort of done so much an 11. I've done more of a squad type situation.
There's loads of players that can take the plank. Like, for instance, we talk about goalkeepers, on a personal level. When I talk about players who've overachieved at their club and, made a career of themselves, where he's one of those players you say, you know what, go to a mass and just thank God for the fact that you played for us, because I'll never understand Arsene Wenger's promotion of this goalkeeper. Never, and let's face it, I'll never accept it. Because we got to start there. Because he did well in training one day, he experimented with dropping Lehman for a bit and playing this goalkeeper. And then when Lehman had a bit of Lauren Hardy moments, he got injured and then he promoted him. And I still say to this day, if we had Lehman in goal for that 07-08 season, I think we win the league. Not because of his performances, because of his leadership. The time when we really lacked leaders, having this guy in goal, and that was one of the most unforgivable decisions Arsene Wenger's made. And I was beginning to turn against him, question him. I started questioning him after the final in Cardiff against Chelsea when he played the kids, when we were playing against Iron Robin, Didier Drogba, John Terry, Frankie Lampard, Czech in goal. Wayne Bridge was playing for them as well. All top players. John Owen Mikel, they had their full team acts. It's a final and they want to win it, and he put the kids on. Unforgivable. That was just a vanity project and all about him getting a pack in the back. I can't forgive him for that. But in terms of this guy, I've got to go for Almunia.
Agree.
Never understood his decision, and it came to bite Wenger up the arse in the 2010-2011 season. I mean, that was unforgivable game against West Brom, where enough was enough, and he promoted Chesney. But if you want to talk about Almunia's moments, let's talk about Danny Rose's first goal for Spurs in 2010. That volley out of nowhere. I'm sorry, it was a goal from the gods. But come on, you've got to do better there.
Yeah,
You've got to do better.
it
One of
was
the flukiest. Yeah,
Go on,
a goal for that should be saving it.
Totally agree with you.
Right.
That was one of the most shockingly embarrassing goalkeepers. I mean, as I said just before, we haven't had that many bad goalkeepers. I went back as far as I could go of the players that I've seen. He was the worst in my opinion. And like you said, we talked about it. He was the hardest position for me. So we're going to go goalkeeper Almunia. Yeah, we agree on that one.
100% Almunia. Said that.
Yeah. So let's start with a right back.
Oh, that's an easy one. That's an easy one. I don't know if you would agree with me on this one, but unfortunately, it's a lad who was born in Tottenham.
Oh, yeah.
In the late 60s, and he started off not too badly for us, but the League Cup final against Luton Town in 1988. If you want to talk about horror moments and just sort of Willie Young moments, and I say it in a nice way, but this is a serious, really young moment. It's got to be Augustin Caesar. Has to be Gus Caesar. Even people who didn't see Gus Caesar play, he's part of folklore for the wrong reasons. And it's sad for the guy because, after that performance, his career just went downhill. But, you think about it, the way, just look at Luton's equaliser, 2-1 up. Don't get me wrong, we made a few mistakes, missed some easy chances. Martin Hayes, missed a few. Nigel Whittam missed a penalty. Dibble had a worldie when he, but the way Wilson just bullied him bullied him. No, I think it was he actually got bullied. I don't know if it was Wilson got the equaliser, but it's the way he got bullied. You know what I mean? I don't know who it was who bullied him, but he was definitely whether it's Steen or Wilson, either way, that just changed the whole game because we were pretty comfortable by then. Obviously, Luton went 1-0 up, and then we got our equaliser, and that Alan Smith puts us 2-1 up, and then complete control, seeing the game out, and then that moment after that, the shock of that goal being conceded, and then the last kick of the game, Brian Steen scores just when we're just trying to get over the shock. So Gus Caesar inadvertently brought Luton back into that game. So you can't say anything other than Gus Caesar.
I've got that down, but I've also gone with Carl Jenkinson.
Oh yeah. I apologise to you on that sort of that bit of negligence, because if there was a guy who, again, he's another Almunia where he lived a dream where it was completely and utterly undeserved, in my opinion. I mean, we bought him from Charlton.
Yeah,
it told. It told.
It honestly, I mean, I'll say, you and I between us, we've seen some crap. Let's move on then. Centre back. I'll give you my one first. Right, This is my right centre back. Probably one of the worst. I've got a couple of others, but this is one of the worst. Scalacci.
Oh, Scalacci, yeah, he's another one. Definitely in mine as well. Again, he was like one of those people you said, how did we ever, like, how did he make the test? I mean, maybe that's when Wenger started to be, going on his way, when he's picking up players like that. You ask yourself, why? Who did the scouting? Who scouted him? I know Gilles Scarondi was our scout for a while after he left the club, but there's no excuse for it. No excuse for that. It was. I don't remember even having half a good game, let alone a good game for us. So yeah, I'm in complete agreement with you. But obviously, the one who's going to play at left centre back, there's a few candidates. Obviously, what's it? Senderos, I was never a big fan of. You know,
Syndrome.
Senderos. Yeah, because I know they were pushing him, and you know Tony Adams was pushing him to play in the Champions League final in 2006 over Sol Campbell, because Sol Campbell had a few difficulties, and obviously, you know, Senderos was doing all right. He did okay in the in the FA Cup final when Sol Campbell got it. I think he got an injury, so he couldn't play. But
Knee, wasn't it his knee?
yeah, an injury. But that Community Shield game, that Charity Shield game in 2005 at Cardiff against Chelsea, where we had a bit of an Indian side with Chelsea, even though they beat us in the Champions League quarter-final. It was that game where, I'm sorry, Didier Drogba just actually battered him, and he was never the same again. And every time Drogba came against Senderos, it was always a situation where Senderos just scored. Sorry, Drogba just scored. You know, League Cup final in 2007, Senderos, who got a brace for Chelsea that day, Didier Drogba, who got a brace in the Community Shield a season before that, Didier Drogba, and it was all when Senderos was marking him. So he's up there, but of course, just for that one performance, and it was a case where, you know, everyone says that, you know, that it was Arsene Wenger was conned into buying him, and it's a good folklore, but I'm sure Arsene Wenger did his research, because the week before that we played Chelsea in the FA Cup fifth round, where we beat them 3-1, and he played all right. He looked okay then. He actually played quite well, you know, and then all of a sudden, the week afterwards we played Man United, and I don't know what happened. It was one of the worst individual defensive performances you'll ever see. And I'm sorry, it's got to be Igor Stefanos for me. It's got to play.
Yeah.
Igor Stefanos, without a shadow of doubt. You know, Senderos is up there, because let's get Senderos ever. But for that, you know, individual performance where you thought this guy can't play football, it's got to be him.
Yeah, shocking, man. I've also got Silvestri.
Oh, please, yeah. What a disappointment for Man United.
Yeah. But anyway, let's move on. Left back. Should have been left back in the change rooms. Santos, man.
Well, Santos, definitely. He's another one that you look at Arsene Wenger. You said, who scouted this guy? Who scouted him? You know, I think we got him from Turkish football, innit? We got him from Turkish. Philip, was it? I think we got him from Turkish football. I don't know. And it was one of those things where we were at a time when we were getting actually piped left, right, and centre. You know, we got the 8-2 game. When we had the 8-2, we lost at home at Liverpool. You know, Nasri went to Man City. Fabregas had left us as well, got to Barcelona. And we were just getting pipes where we were near the bottom of the table. So he just went on this mass buying spree. You know, Arteta, you know, Santos, you know, Mertesacker. And I think that Benayoun, you know, those sort of players, we went on that sort of spree, got all these players in. And one of the players we got in was Andre Santos. But give him his cues. He did score a good goal against Chelsea. But you know, his epitaph was the season afterwards, where he swapped shirts with Robin van Persie at half-time at Old Trafford. That is one thing I remember, and I remember thinking, "What's going on here?" And you know, everyone was up in arms for that. He deserved. But you know, Oregon Gunners, you know, he's looking at as a defender. You know, we're looking at players like Kivior. He's not really impressed us there. And then, you know, Zinchenko's divided opinion, because we don't think Zinchenko's actually a left back anyway. So
no, well, he's midfield, isn't he?
He's pushing it. But Santos, Santos has to be like, you know, like if you're doing a poll and he went on percentages, Santos would definitely be in the high 90s as our worst left back.
Yeah. Have you got another one that is like you can think of that is as bad?
Well, you know, Kivior's up there. I really do think about Kiwior. Kiwior's definitely up there. You can't kind of like, look and think, right, I'm really impressed with Kiwior's performances. Saying that, he's probably going to play on Saturday as well because, Shevchenko still injured. So that's a massive, massive concern.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, let's move.
Jack, I think Jack wants to. I think he wants to come on or something because he's a Palace man.
But yeah, welcome to, mate. You're welcome to, mate, if you want to. I don't know how I'll send you the link, but you're more than welcome to. Because we are going to talk. We're going to rattle through these our worst. We are going to talk about the Palace game coming up. See if I can get hold of you, Jack. Let me know, man, and I'll.
Is he on your Instagram? Is he on your Instagram? Check and see if he's followed you on Instagram. Is he on Instagram? You can.
Let me have a look. Anyway, while I'm looking at that, Kenny, I'm going to throw this right wing midfield. Right wing midfield. One of the worst ever. Right, Miarchi, whatever his name is.
Yes. He's one of those. Miarchi, terrible, absolutely terrible, and a player that that was just absolutely awful. He didn't bring anything to the table. You just can't. You look at him and you think that for me that is one thing I agree with, and that's one where I'm definitely putting him up there. Miarchi's definitely up there, but in terms of, you think of right wingers, players who've over the years who play for us. You know what? We've been pretty strong at right wing as well. You think about we had Rocky there. Brian Marble could play as well. Martinez could. Martinez has played down the right as well sometimes. And obviously, we had Perry Groves. All had a bit of pace, but this guy was just terrible. He really, really, really did get on my nerves. Really get on my nerves. So yeah, without a shadow of doubt, you can't like I said, put anyone up there except for him. But if you're getting a midfield now, that's pretty interesting. Midfield's pretty interesting. There's been like some shockers. I know a lot of people. If you think about it in terms of midfield over the years, oh God, there's been some. It's hard to categorise them and think, oh, but God, do they really play for the club? You know what I mean? You have to say, you have to say, at the moment, it didn't work out for Lokonga. I wasn't really impressed with him when he played for us. He's up there, but in terms of like, if you go back into let's fight in the 80s, we weren't too bad in midfield. No. Not really that bad in midfield. But you think about it, Stuart Robson was good for us till he got his injuries. There was another one midfield. In terms of like midfield, Stefan Schwartz was brilliant for us until he, but he couldn't cope with us. I thought Grant Xhaka always divided opinion for me, but he did have leadership qualities. So, but yeah, in terms of like the player, I'm thinking of it. The one I mentioned, Lokonga's got to be up there. He really, really did. He really didn't really do it for us too much. Obviously, which other players? Don't look at it.
Wow.
There's obviously who else is there? There was a guy called Albert Mendes.
Oh,
remember Mendes? Albert Mendes. That was another one where I went, no thanks, but no thanks. Not happy with you. You know what I mean? And then, can you put, like I said, like another one, the assassin. We called him the assassin. I think he could play in midfield, but he could play in defence as well. Nelson Vivas.
Oh, yes, I know.
Do you remember Leeds?
Yes,
do you remember Leeds? Remember the Leeds game in '99 when that cost that although Man United always the front runners, even though they're a point above us, you always felt that if we did one, they would have won. But yeah, Nelson Vivas at Leeds, that wasn't great. And he was more of a sort of like a butcher rather than a footballer. So I definitely like put him up there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. Jack, what I'll do, I'll have to put it in the chat down here because I can't find you on Insta. So when we're winding this bit up, I'll pop the link in the chat here for you, man. You can come and join us. And good to have a Palace view. Just going to do a couple of things here. Wolfgang, beg your pardon, has become a YouTube member. Thanks, man. Go and subscribe to Wolfgang, Chelsea fan, great channel. Was on there the other night. Great fun. Top fella, man. And Longhead yet is in the cave. In his cave, rather. Here you go. Put it towards a salt-based steak, man. I think we need a lot more than that to buy one of his bleeding steaks. But thank you, mate, for that.
Salt-based. You know what? You know what? Even if I was like a trillionaire, I wouldn't go to his restaurant on principle. You know that?
No chance, man.
Not on principle. When you got Gauchos, you got all these lovely steakhouses all over the country. Why him? Why him?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
And what it costs, what it charges you, is madness, man. Wolfgang,
people pay for it. People do pay for that steak.
I know. Why? I don't get it. Rubbish. Wolfgang, mate, thank you for your super chat. Sebastian Scalacci, yes.
Yeah, we've mentioned. I think we mentioned him.
Yeah, we've done him, mate. Oregon Gooners gifted 5 last with more memberships. Big up to you, Dow, legend as always. So we've done him. Let's go over to the left.
God.
My chart, the one I've put in here in my 11. This is my one, right? I've put in Denilson.
Oh God! You know what? I forgot about him. He flattered to deceive.
Yeah.
He was one of those players that it was so annoying watching him in an Arsenal shirt. You know, when he used to come on for Cesc Fabregas, you think, oh God,
here we go.
You know,
yeah,
I don't. You know, one of the most disappointing things, I've ever seen in an Arsenal shirt is when you get a Cardiff 2007 FA, cup final, League Cup final against Chelsea. We didn't know at the time that it was one of those times when it was part of our trophy drought years, but we just thought we were carrying winning. And then you look at the midfield, you see him on the pitch, you think, oh God,
yeah,
head goes how, it's and then it's one of those things that you just feel really, really, really annoyed, aggrieved by. He wasn't hopeless, but you think about impact. You ask yourself, what impact did he actually make? Yeah, Andreas, you have to. I'm sorry, Andreas. I really apologise for my my negligence. I forgot about John Jensen.
So did I.
He was bought on the back of that goal in the 1992 European Championship final against against West Germany. Sorry, Germany for Denmark. And you thought, right, we're getting a goal scoring midfielder here. As soon as he came, I went, what does he actually do? I mean, don't get it wrong.
John Jensen. Oh, Christ. Yeah.
Don't get it wrong. Shake his hand. I mean, he managed to win 3 trophies for us. He managed to win the FA Cup and League Cup in that George Graham team. I mean, he managed to get on, obviously from the bench. I don't think he started, but I think he managed to get a medal in the Cup Winners' Cup in his own country. So, I mean, we've only seen him score once, and it's one of those things where, great goal against QPR, but we still lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
Stephen Maltz is another one, forgettable player, soft as butter, and played like it.
People have come out with names I've totally forgotten all about.
Stefan Schwartz. I thought Stefan Schwartz would have been a very, very good player for us had we had Arsene Wenger been at the club, and that because I think Arsene Wenger's football would have been, the early Wenger years would have been more to Stefan Schwartz's liking, and Stefan Schwartz was very instrumental to us getting to that final in this year after us in '95, albeit we lost it against Zaragoza because, let's be honest, we were a poor team that year, poor team, and I thought Zaragoza were a better side and deserved to beat us. I thought so anyway. You know what I mean?
I'm going to move into centre midfield left. I'm putting a player in here that most people never heard of. Right, he joined in 1971. He was going to be. He was going to be one of the greatest footballers for Arsenal.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. But I'll let you take it away.
Hello.
What's that?
You think of Peter Marinello?
I'm afraid I am.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened? Tell me what happened, because obviously I was a kid. I was. He came in 71. I was born in 72. But you think about it, you know. When I look at stickers, my old football stickers, you know, he had the Scottish football stickers. I remember Peter Marinello from Hibernian. I don't remember him ever playing for Arsenal.
I think the trouble is when he came to Arsenal, he was going to be the next Jules Best. That's what the papers put out there, right? That's what I remember as a kid. Yeah, and the poor guy never stood a chance. Right, he had all the pressure. He had everything on him. Yeah, he was okay, but the funny thing is, Kenny, right, he used to get substituted on. He'd come on, right? But then I can remember games when he had a crack. He'd come on. Yeah, this is when we had one. This is the day we had one substitute allowed.
That's right, yeah.
And once he was on, doing nothing, he used to run around in circles, literally. I mean, circles. And when he was getting towards the end of his time, we had another player, right? Another player. And his name was Brendan Batson. Now, I have to put it down. He left in 74, joined in 71. He left in 74. One of the worst players I've ever seen in my life.
I know Brendan Batson from being one of the three. I think Jack's left you a message, but I think I know Brendan Batson from being one of the Ron Atkinson's 3 degrees at West Bromwich Albion. You know, him, Lloyd Cunningham, and you know, God bless. Well, both. He's the only one who's alive. He's the only one who's alive because Cyril Regis. We lost Cyril Regis, and then we lost Lloyd Cunningham, an Archway boy brought up in North London. Was actually an Arsenal trainee, but never made it. You know, I mean, we lost him in '89, but you know, I just remember Brendan Batson from West Brom, and I heard that he was at Cambridge. The only time I know he played for Arsenal was that, you know, whenever you see, you know, when obviously you were around that time, I wasn't. But you know, when you see the parade of the double in '71, I just see him at the front of the bus. That's how I remember him. I don't remember him actually playing for us.
All right, mate. I'm gonna throw this one to you while I send the link to Jack. All right. Right. You're going to come up and we've got so many that can fit in here.
Yeah.
Right. My right centre midfield, one of the worst I've ever seen in my life, and I've got a few. Right. Frimpong.
Oh, him. He was a nuisance. He spent more time on social media than he actually did playing football. His first full game, where he actually did all right, got himself sent off against Liverpool in a 2-0 defeat, and I don't remember him getting Arsenal trusting him again. But he's so all season. All I remember about Frimpong was you get on Twitter. He was never off Twitter. Never off Twitter. I mean, he made he had a bit of a set to of Sammy and Nasri when he had the clothing line called Dench, didn't he? And then he changed it to Bench to one up Sammy and Nasri, because from what I heard, Sammy and Nasri was an absolute waste of time, an absolute wazzock pork chop at the club. Utterly detested. and utterly dislikable, and that's been corroborated by a lot of players who played with him at Arsenal. He wasn't a well-liked person, and judging by what I heard about his behaviour at Man City was even worse. And you only have to look at his behaviour at France. But it was funny when he put down bench. But in terms of a player, I don't think if anyone made any contribution to us. I actually remember seeing Frimpong for the first time when we beat Spurs in the Youth Cup quarter final at White Hart Lane. We beat them 3-1 when J. Emmanuel Thomas was playing. Wilshere was playing in that game, if memory serves me right. Coquelin played that day. So I remember those three players playing, and when we beat Spurs, and I was thinking, I was hoping that Frimpong would do something for us, but alas, it just didn't come up for him. He didn't make it, and I wasn't surprised, to be honest. Oh, you got Gervinho. See, Jack, when I look at Gervinho, I hear what you're saying. He was frustrating, but he was effective. There were some games, and I always go back to Eden Hazard, who said that the best player he's ever played was Gervinho. So is he another player that couldn't set in that game? Because when he was at Lille, everyone was bigging him up.
Yeah. Let's go up front because this is laughable.
I've got two ones. I've got two easy ones, but I know
you do yours first, and I'll do some of mine.
Obviously, you've got the easier one is Sanogo. That's an open goal, and you can go Christopher Ray if you want to, who basically had a good end to the season. He kept in right at the FA Cup final lineup in '98. But I have to go for Lee Chapman. I'm sorry, Lee Chapman.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Lee Chapman. We actually bought him to replace Frank Stapleton, and because Frank Stapleton, betrayed us and went to Man United, and then he was just so bad. He was so bad. He had a good reputation for Stoke City, young, but he wasn't an Arsenal player. He was when when he went to Sheffield Wednesday from French football, because I think he went to French football, didn't he? He went to Sunderland. He went to Sunderland, then he went to and then he went to Sheffield Wednesday for that. I thought he was brilliant at Sheffield Wednesday, brilliant at Leeds, but they played the kind of what's that kind of football we're talking about? That kind of long ball game. He was under Howard Wilkinson. He was Howard Wilkinson kind of player, but under Russ, terrible. David Hawley as well, another one we bought from Leeds. A player that, reason why I look at David Hawley, I think, what? At least he scored against Spurs, but we still lost 3-1 in '82. But yeah, he's those two do stand up. They do absolutely stand out for me. So I've got to go for those two. But I understand if you go for like I said, go for Sanogo, because he's one of those players who thought, I think his twin brother went on trial, you know what I mean?
I've got right. This is right. These are some of my worst. Right. I've got Sanogo, Shamak.
Oh God.
And Francis Jeffers.
Oh God. Yes, Francis Jeffers was absolutely a waste of time.
Yeah,
waste of time.
Big promise.
Everton pulled out.
Big promise. Never delivered.
Everton pulled our pants down.
Yeah.
When they brought that guy, I mean, it was just a complete waste of time. Again, he's another player that he was so bad that he didn't even mean, during that sort of 2001, 2002 team, he didn't even qualify to get a medal because he didn't play enough matches. That's how bad he was. Fox in the box, my arse. Terrible player. Terrible player. Shocking player. There's obviously been, in terms of like goalkeepers, we can't forget George Wood.
No. Oh, God, I forgot about him.
George Wood, when Pat Jennings got injured, George Wood, let's not forget. Let's see the goals he let in. The FA Cup semi-final against FA Cup semi-final against Man United in 1983, the Norman Whiteside's winner, and then Brian Robson's equaliser. And let's not forget the 5-0 against Tottenham. You know, if you let 5 in a North London derby, you deserve shooting. Sorry, you deserve a horsewhipping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, sorry, you think about, and I've actually seen the goals quite a lot, and I look at all the goals, and a lot of them were from distance. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It was an awful performance, and he's definitely up there. And I think because we've forgotten about him, we've chosen to forget about him. You can't think about his performance. But yeah, and Munya is just I've put Munya as the worst goal I've ever seen, because I thought it was an absolute liberty on our manager's part to actually promote him ahead of Lehman. It's a complete liberty.
Totally agree. I've got just in my squad. Yeah. A few players that's going to make you turn yourself inside out, Kenny.
You hit me with it.
Here we go. Right. Calm down. Lichtsteiner.
Oh God, yeah. That was a guy. Again, if you're going to buy an old player, at least buy a player who's playing in a league. But to actually get someone from the Italian league to play in our fast-paced game, nah, not for me. Not for me.
No.
You know, another player that we neglected to mention, and you're going to kick yourself for it, Glenn Helder.
Oh, yes, Glenn Helder. Yes.
Had one good game when he came on as sub, and afterwards it was just a complete disappointment. And it was actually George Graham's last play. You know, we can actually put as a forward, Chris Kimomia wasn't exactly didn't exactly jump at us. You know, I don't know, because those were one of George Graham's last buys, isn't it? John Hartson, Chris Kimomia, and Glenn Helder. I mean, David Seaman said he was even poor in training, let alone in a match, where players look good in training, but when you get them on the pitch in a match, they're terrible. But yeah, Glenn Helder, complete and utter disappointment.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I forgot about him.
I wasn't too enamoured by John Hartson at our club either. I didn't think he was an Arsenal player. But yeah, Glenn Helder's one that we forgot. Kim Hellstrom, again, 2014 season, he came to us and he had a bad back.
Yeah, great.
Enough said.
We've done that. We've done that since. We bought a player with a bad back. I mean, come on.
Willian wasn't great for us in that season as well. When his only season for us, Willian weren't great.
Oregon Gooner, yes, this one's in my squad, my worst ever squad.
Definitely put him in there.
Oh man, really?
You know, we've got to have worst manager as well.
Go on.
And I know you're not going to agree with me, but we've got to put Billy Wright as manager.
Billy Wright, yeah.
We've got to have Billy Wright as manager, because he was Billy Wright was a great player.
Great player, yeah.
For Wolverhampton, and obviously he was the Bobby Moore before Bobby Moore of his day. Like, he married one of the Beverley sisters, 105 caps for England. But as Arsenal manager, it's no way, Jose, mate.
Nah, shocking, bloody awful, man. Be truthful with you. I'm going to throw this one in the mix as well. This would be something interesting. Denis Suarez.
Oh God. I just remember him coming from Barcelona, and he was meant to be like, he's meant to have kind of the flair of Ozil. I just saw him, I just looked at him and went, oh, please, just stop it. Just stop, you know, stop playing this guy. Just leave him on the bench. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, it was
Annie Lilligan wasn't actually a great player for us, to be honest, but he did score a great goal, a memorable goal. But as a defender, Was he any good? Any Linnigan? Oh, yeah. Okay, you got Arturo Lopoli. It's tiny. You know, no impact whatsoever. You know, who else is there? You know, Henry Lansbury. You know, although he did score in that game against Spurs in the League Cup when we beat them 4-1 after extra time in 2010-11 season. So you know he gets a buy in that one. But you know, there's really been shockers. I can definitely put Trevor Ross as one of our players. I think he wasn't that great for us, Trevor Ross. You know, definitely not someone you can think of as, oh bloody hell, he did a great job for us. So you know, and there was obviously Will Frostrom played for us as well. That was memorable.
Yes,
Will Frostrom. You know, he weren't great for us. Who else can we put in that category? Who of Arsenal players who we think no way, Jose?
I've got one for you. Nicholas Bentner.
Oh God, terrible footballer, and overinflated opinion of his ability. He actually thought he was better than Adebayor. When he played, it was like, oh please, just. I hated seeing him in Arsenal shot. I just hated it. It was very hard for me to back him. It was very hard for me to back that player. I just hated him on sight. You know, the best thing Adebayor did in an Arsenal shot was headbutt him in a North London derby when we lost 5-1. Oh, who was in goal? Was it Amonia in goal that game as well when we lost 5-1?
Yeah, well, that's a surprise.
Final. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got another one for you. Manoni, remember him?
Oh God.
Manoni?
Yeah, he weren't great. Ali Adier.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he was. You know. I know. Lucas Perez, but I had probably more pace than Lucas Perez. And when he was at the club, I was 45. And yeah, Lucas Perez was just one of those players you think, oh, Arsene, just stop, sack your scouts. He was so slow, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but, I mean, we've had some drop. I mean, I'm going to throw this one in as well. Holding.
Oh God, yeah. Holding's so bad that he can't even get a game at Crystal Palace. He's in the matchday squad, but he doesn't actually get on. That's how bad he is. You know, terrible player.
Awful, absolutely shocking player. Throw this one into you, mate. Mkhitaryan.
He was strangely effective in Unai Emery's first full season, and afterwards it was like, get me out of here. I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's strange. He did score a few goals, but you think about it, and you think, oh, I don't know. It wasn't him and ironically, didn't him and what's it? Alexis Sanchez play at Internazionale together.
I'm not sure about that.
I'm sure they did play for Internazionale, which is quite ironic that, you know, there was a swap deal. Mkhitaryan left Man United to come to us, and Alexis Sanchez went to Man United.
I think you're right. I mean, I don't know the facts.
Yeah. I think Macy Timori's talking about the players we got from Chelsea. They are worth a mention. You think of Ben Ayoun. Wasn't great for us when he great for us. Then you think about Willian, wasn't great. David Luiz, at least he tried. You know, a lot of people. I'm conflicted because I do think for Petr Cech had two really, really good seasons for us, and then he kind of went on a wane. But his first season, I thought Petr Cech kept a lot of clean sheets. I thought he was good for us. And it was definitely an upgrade than what we had before. Second season, he was all right, not too bad. But the third season, questions need to be asked, definitely. You know, Lehmann, I thought wasn't good goalkeeper, but he wasn't number one. I think Trevino, you know, when I used to go to a few games, he was all right. He was industrious. He did score the odd goal here and there. But yeah, overall, he was very frustrating. He was very frustrating. I can see why you think he was shit, because I think he was shit in a very frustrating way. Like his football ability was there, but effectiveness, 100%.
Yeah,
thanks a lot, Cole. Thanks a lot, mate. I enjoyed myself yesterday, but yeah, he was really, really bad. Eddie Nketiah, you have to enter him in, because you think about it, the fact that he's paid the goal return. He's virtually scored 1 in 9 for Arsenal, and he's a striker. 1 in 9.
Mm-hmm. That's as
what
bad
do you think of Horse? You know, I think I've got a bit of a soft spot for Oleg Luzhny. He was a bit of a horse, but was he that bad for us, Oleg Luzhny?
I don't think he was that bad. He wasn't brilliant, but he did a job. I
wasn't. Kolasinac, he was one player that frustrating. Another player that Podolski wasn't great for us. He was slow as butter. I think Milk turned. But he did score some great goals for us. He did score in derbies. You know what I mean?
He did.
Memphis did. You know, a player that a lot of, that would cause problems, but he is open to debate. Olivier Giroud is probably one of the biggest myths of our club. Some people like him because of what he did after he left us, but I think he caused more frustration than he caused joy for us. You think about it. He did score some important goals, but when you look at his goal return, he wasn't really an Arsenal forward, was he? He didn't have the pace. He didn't have the panache or flair. But when you see Olivier Giroud and you see what he's done, Olivier Giroud's playing in good teams. He played in a very, very good France team. How could Olivier Giroud play crap in that side? He couldn't. You know what I mean? With all that, he had world-class players in every position. He had a ton of creativity. He had probably a player who's probably going to be the best player in the world if he really, really wants it that badly, in Mbappe alongside him. How can Olivier Giroud look that bad? And then he had, Griezmann as well. You know, you can't look back. Oh, Hector Bellerin. No. God. Forgot about him.
Yeah. The thing is, I think it's important. There's a lot of names coming up that have been around in the last 10 years. And that is a shocking saying about Arsenal. We've bought some absolute crap.
Definitely. You definitely have to look at it. Because you think about it. You think about the Wenger's first 10 years. You think of George Graham's recruitment, and obviously Terry Neal. You think of the recruitment. There's a time when we bought good players. I think what we've done is that, dare I say it, we've bought a lot of players from abroad who've just not come to us when we're in the right sort of environment. You know, in terms of like Wenger at his worst. Plus, English football's not for them. But they go to other clubs, these foreign players, and they thrive. Like, I was watching a kind of debate with Man United players, with Man United and their recruitment, and there was like a strong argument to say that all those players who struggle at Man United, if they went to other clubs, they would have done well. Huggy White, leave Huggy alone. Huggy Chris White. I love Huggy. Grundy, Matt Turner, up there. But yeah.
Good comment there, though. I highlighted it. I just want to bring you this one, Kenny. Was Bruce Rioch's record awful? Not really, when he bought Dennis Bergkamp.
Yeah, he bought Dennis Bergkamp and David Platt. I think Bruce Rioch's cards were marked when he fell out of Ian Wright.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yes.
Yeah, because I think Ian Wright, because I think there were certain things in training where Bruce Throughout was a bit of a sergeant major. Huggy White, I suppose, he didn't fulfil his potential with us, but look what Huggy White did at Leeds. He went and won a title alongside Chris Fairclough. Justin Hoyt, another one of those players who just never really made it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you talk about, like some of the names you've mentioned, yeah, they're definitely up there. Mertesacker was all right for us. Richard Wright never really got a few games because you remember there was a goalkeeper called Taylor who was going to be this great successor to Seaman. It never happened for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had some like shocking players.
Jack,
over the years.
Shout out, Jack, if you're still here. If you want to jump on, man, we're going to talk about the game coming up in a minute. I'll just do this super chat here from Joandra Carl. Thank you, mate. If we don't win anything, Saliba, Saka, Rice, Gabriel will all leave like Nasri, Robin van Persie, and Cesc. It's looking like Wenger days all over again. Well,
I think the thing is that I think the thing with Arsenal, if we pay the money, we're laughing. All right, Jack, how you doing, mate?
All right, Kenny, mate.
Me and this guy talk every day.
Yeah. I just want to say, Kenny, I don't know how you kept your cool last night with the girl and Babs.
I think you've got to, because I think the thing about it is that, you've got to listen to what they got to say, and you've got to respect their position, because in terms of like their positions haven't changed. Babs very much like, he's a very positive fan. He's a club man, and I've told him this all the time. Igal believes that, the best way to show support and be a true supporter is back the club through thick and thin. He's very much like Ty and Julian. To them, you can't be a true supporter if you're not positive. And you've got to respect that position, because we've all been through that. Like Jez, when he was younger, he had that kind of position where, if they wear a red shirt, you've got to back them. You can't slag the club off. You can't even do it in public because you feel like you're betraying them. But when you get older and you know about the game, you think, hang on here, you're actually putting the club first by calling it out. I don't think Bav and Igal at that stage yet, but, they will get that stage over the years. If this carries on, they will get to a situation where they will be negative, but they're young fans, isn't it?
Yeah, I get you.
It's one of those things where, they believe in this Arsenal's magic and every other club is tragic.
Yeah, I get you.
Jack, welcome aboard, mate. First time on my channel.
Yeah, it's nice to be here.
So we're going to talk about the game coming up at the weekend now, quickly. Arsenal Palace, tricky game. I'm going to come to you, Jack, first as a new guest, man. Thank you for coming up.
No problem, Jess.
How are you seeing it going to go, mate? How do you see Arsenal not looking great at the moment? 1 win in 7. Not positive. I'm a bit concerned myself.
No, don't be. You've got nothing to worry about. We've been awful. Apart from the game against Brentford, where it needed a Michael Elise masterclass to get us out of that, we've been dreadful. You've got nothing to worry about. What you're going to get with us, we're a hard kettle of fish to judge, really. We either put in a defensive masterclass and catch you on the counter-attack like we've done at Man City for a couple of years, or you will slap us. So we're a hard one to call. I think Kenny said before, we're a hard animal to pin down, really.
We haven't got a striker, mate.
Well, neither have we, really. You've got Mateta, who basically classes himself as a striker, but I think he'd be better as a centre half, to be honest. But I think I know you create chances, but you can't put them in the back of the net. I think you'll be all right, to be honest. I don't want to be a positive Palace fan like some of these people on Palace Twitter, but I think you'll be all right.
So you've got the numpties on the Palace.
Oh, yeah, the ones who think that the sun shines out of Parish's backside. Them ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can't do no wrong.
We've got loads of them at Arsenal, but the thing is, Jack, I don't think you realise how bad it is. Obviously, you've watched a lot of our games live, but being on the ground, we are really low in confidence that if we don't score early doors, like in the first 15 or 20 minutes, and then the game gets a bit comfortable, then sort of the crowd are going to get on the players' backs, worry a bit. We start looking at referees not giving us stuff, and then, the confidence levels go. Because one of the things about Croydon and Roy, he is a very prepared. Obviously, you lost your striker. Who is it? You've lost. I used playing with Garner, but you don't really score that many goals anyway. But he's got the work.
He gets you fouls.
Yeah, that's the thing. He gets you
up the pitch.
But in terms of the problem is that Crystal Palace have always been a hard nut for us to crack over the years. I think a lot of the times is when Roy Hodgson's been a manager. I mean, you smashed us to pieces in the Unai Emery years, beat us pretty comfortably, and then the season afterwards, you came out from a 2-2. That's probably one of the games that got Emery in the sack. And then there was one game during lockdown where it was 0-0 at the Emirates. But you think about it, players like Alicia and Eze look really comfortable that day. It was a 0-0, but I would have thought Crystal Palace shaded it. So with Crystal Palace, you don't know what you're going to get. You're the sort of team that can go to Etihad and win, and no one will think anything off.
We nearly did this season.
Yeah, and that's what scares Arsenal fans. We're not playing well. You guys are so unpredictable. And that's the scary thing about it. We don't know what we're going to get. We know Eze's playing. The only thing we've got in our favour is that Eze's probably been rushed back. Is he still injured, Alicia? Is he not going to play?
Yeah, he's going to be out until basically the end of the month.
All right, so that's great. I'm glad he's not playing.
Thanks, mate.
But you think about it. We struggle against teams. We struggle against teams that are good at set pieces and got good delivery for set pieces. Look what happened against Liverpool. Look what happened against West Ham. Ward-Prowse and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Alicia's got great delivery. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And he's got a good left foot as well, for taking shots and things. He's good at that. He's good at cutting in. But we haven't got him, so we've got Jeffrey Schlupp. Wow. Jeffrey Schlupp, he's all right if you're going on the front foot, but when you're defensive, when you're going defensively, he's the bloke to bring on to kind of hold it, because he used to be left back. But yeah, our attacking options are very light at the minute. Very light. We're playing Everton now in the cup and replay, and we're basically having to go 5 at the back because we haven't really got the options.
You confident of doing any deals in this window?
Well, there's been talk of Calvin Phillips from City on loan, but City want a £5 million loan fee for a few months. So unless we can get that down, then probably not. But we've been looking at a right back from Ghent or something like that. But it's there's been talk of Nketiah, isn't there? Going to us, but if he can't score,
do you want him?
No, we've got no. He's playing with players like Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, and he can't score. So how's he going to score with Will Hughes and Jeffrey Schlupp?
That's funny. That's funny.
It's not going to happen. So, and we've got Elise, whose hamstrings are made out of paper because they go all the time. So if he's not playing with our top players, he's not going to score any goals. Edouard, I think, has been injured for a good few weeks, and I think he's got more goals than Nketiah this season. I might be wrong, but I don't want him.
I'm trying to think, Kenny. I'm just trying to think. You're better at this than me. When was the last time that Nketiah scored?
Was it Sheffield United?
No, it was against PSV in the Champions League. He ain't scored since then. So that was probably his first away goal for a lot of time. But the thing is that if we play a back four, Kivior's going to play at left back, because I think Shevchenko's not going to be fit anyway. So You know, you got him to contend with. You know, Kai Havertz will be playing as well. So on paper, we do look strong, and it is the Emirates.
Havertz likes to score against us.
Yeah, but one thing people don't seem to forget: if you get your game plan right against us, you've got a good chance. You've got a good chance of winning that game. I don't think you realise how easy we are to work out. I'm not bigging Crystal Palace up. I said the same thing against West Ham. I said the same thing against Fulham, and I said the same against Liverpool. Before the Liverpool game, every Arsenal fan I spoke to knew we would lose.
Do your players look low on confidence?
Yeah, so not because they lost 3 in a row, and you know, to be honest, you know, it stretches back to the Aston Villa game where they actually create a lot of chances, but they couldn't win. You know, they're under a lot of pressure because you know, the pressure is on them to you know, like turn second to winning the league. They know that Man City, you know, like I said, are going through kind of a sort of quiet period, but they know Man City are going to come back with a vengeance, go on a winning run. So again, that puts them under pressure. Liverpool situation as well. That's a pressure game in itself. But before we play Liverpool, we're under pressure to beat you and not Forest. At the moment, we're playing those games with little confidence, knowing full well that if we don't get the first goal, we'll struggle to win games. And even when we did get the first against Fulham, they won every second ball. I don't think you're looking at Arsenal from last season, Jack, and reputation. But right now, it's a good time to play us. Yeah,
but we always when we're playing a club who's struggling or whatever, we always end up fumbling it. always. So I think you'll be all right, but it wouldn't be out of the question if we scammed the result or whatever, because we've done it. When you look at the start, the first game of the season or second game of the season, I don't think we actually played that bad in the game. And then you managed to get a penalty, didn't you? Because Sam Johnston took out Nketiah.
Yes, right.
But I don't think a draw would have been an unfair result in that game, to be honest.
No, I agree with you on that. I agree. Totally do agree.
It was not a game we played.
Go on, mate.
No, I think Crystal Palace home and away is always an hard game, except for last season where, again, you sacked Vieira and then you got Paddy McCarthy in, and like you had chances coming back.
I think we hit the post in that game within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, really and truly, you missed a trick there. You actually should have, just said, right, Vieira, you're sacked. Get Croydon Roy in there and then. If you've got Croydon Roy in now, in that game, who knows what would have happened, because, it was one of the things where the players play from. And I think, despite your frustrations with the way you play, I do get the feeling that the players like Roy Hodgson.
Oh, they respect him. They respect him. You can tell.
And they do play for him, and he does tend to keep it simple for them. He doesn't like with Vieira. He was trying to get a style of play that some of your players did but it weren't comfortable with. But Roy Hodgson is simple. It's simple. You play football when you need to play, but you go direct when you need to go direct. I think the problem you have is that you give away silly goals. Defensively, you do kamikaze moments.
Yeah, that's what I see as well. Because when we played you in that game against when we sacked Vieira, and he deserved to be sacked, by the way. The football was awful. When after that game, the game before when we lost to Brighton and he got sacked, when they said they're putting Paddy McCarthy in as a stopgap until we get someone in, I thought, oh my God, we need someone now, not waiting and then picking Croydon Roy. Because if you think about it, when we sacked him and Roy came in, for the last games of the season, we played beautiful attacking football and pretty much nearly won every game that we played. So when they said that Roy's staying on, again, I thought, okay, judging by the last few games of the season, I think it was 8 games or 6 games, something like that. I'll take that on the basis that he continues to play that way. because then otherwise the whole experiment under Vieira and that was a pointless waste of time. So, and now he's reverted back to type. The fact that we're just so frustrated. It's just so frustrating. I think the players we've got are better than where our league position is.
Fact, mate.
I think that's.
I'm just going to do this one, Kenny. I'll come back to you, man. Carl Rossi, man, gifted 5 Arsenal History More memberships. You're a legend, Carl. You're an absolute legend in yourself. Longhead Yeti's Cave, legend, Mr. Rossi. Absolutely. He is. Top man. Andy says, legend membership. Anybody's got a membership from Carl, please shout it out and give him a big thanks for that, man, because he does it all the time. He's a top fella. Always in the chat, always bigging the channel up. Kenny, come to you on this one, mate. We going to buy anybody? We going to get anybody in, mate? Arsenal?
No, not at all.
Yeah,
not at all. I think. Yeah, I think what's happening is that I think the clubs, they're making noises, but really and truly, I think the club's scared of FFP. I think what's happened with Everton. And Everton and Nottingham Forest has probably thought, no. I don't think the club are close to FFP, but FFP is right. FFP, it's profit and sustainability. They call it in the Premier League profit and sustainability. I think the club, committed big in the summer.
But Arsenal, man, they must. I mean, I had this debate the other day, right? I hear what you're telling me, but we've got a multi-billionaire runs a football business. He's going to have top level accountants, financial people. They're going to be able to turn around and say, yeah, we're close or we're not close.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But you know it is with Arsenal. I think it's the Arsenal way. Even before we had a January window, the sort of transfer deadline was always in March. When I was a kid, it was like the end of March, the end of the financial year. Now it's September, then you have another window. I think from the club's perspective, they said, right, we've gone big this season. We spent well over 200 million. We're not. That's it for the season. That's the impression that the club's giving. Like they're making token gestures, but all I'm hearing is loan periods or players. There was a guy called Mayoral from Spain, and then there was another guy. He plays for Feyenoord. Who's Feyenoord's top goal scorer at the moment?
I don't even know why he was after that Mayoral guy.
Yeah,
his record isn't even that great, to be fair.
Yeah, but he's cheap though. He's cheap and he's short term. I think that Arsenal. Yeah, I think what Arsenal are looking to do. I think Arsenal are looking to spend big in the summer. If we don't win the league, which was a lot of Arsenal fans are pessimistic about anyway, I think Arteta's hand will be forced into going for a big name. It's not necessarily going to be the players you want. A lot of people don't want Ivan Toney. They want Osimhen because he's younger and they think that he's got a probably better resale value.
I disagree with that though, because he's not Premier League proven, is he? Well, Tony
that's what I say. Yeah, that's what I've always said as well. I always want Ivan Toney, but wherever it happens, Toney or Osimhen, Chelsea are going to look to buy him. Man United are going to make a gesture. Who knows? With Sir Jim Ratcliffe there, they might get their act together off the pitch, and they become an attractive proposition there. They may have a new manager. It's one of those things where you are going to go in an auction, but the thing is that Arsenal have to do what they do with Declan Rice. Speak to him now. If you're going to make a move for any other strikers in the summer, get to them now, tap them up, because Declan Rice is clearly tapped up.
Yeah,
he's blatantly tapped up.
All day.
So tap them up.
Adam says Lee Gunner said Mayoral is shit. Well, respect, you got to admire that comment.
Well, we was after him. We was after him a few seasons ago, and we passed him up.
Lee does watch La Liga. He does watch-alongs damn near every damn day, so he sees these players.
Yeah,
so
that's the thing.
you know, and I respect Lee's opinion on players in the fact of if he thinks he's crap, then and Steve Mackler, you know, our Canadian friend, Newcastle fan, he said he's crap. So
yes, the thing that's so annoying, and I can understand why people say, yeah, some's like, I get it. We're in a title race and we're short. So if you're in a title race and you're short, then you have to act quickly and take a risk to, you know, not scoring goals. You know, you have to think about getting a striker. Not happy with your centre halves or your left back. You have to get it because, you know, that could get you over the line. Because let's face it, we're 5 points behind Liverpool, and the situation is that Man City are coming back at us. You know, Spurs, you know, generally believe that they're going to come good this second half of the season because all their best players are coming back now, isn't it?
What's your academy like? Like players breaking into the first team? Because you see Liverpool, City, Oscar Bob, didn't he, scored the winner away at Newcastle?
We don't have that, Arsenal. We don't really have that.
That's what I was thinking.
We don't have that, Arsenal, because simple reasons that we've not many of our academy players over the years have, you know, come through. You know, you have to go back to George Donnell, George Graham days when, you know, you had a conveyor belt with young players coming through. In terms of now, it's all about buying players who are ready now. You know, obviously Smith Rowe is an exception.
Where's that youth project?
What's that?
What's the youth project?
Oh.
You're supposed to be bringing the youth in.
Yeah, but the youth project is buying young players and them come through. It's not actually, you know, players come through. But, you know, the thing about youth project is that, you know, let's not forget that there's been many a player who've won titles, or many a team that has had an average age of 24 when they won titles. Let's not forget Mourinho's Chelsea in
2092.
Class 92. But Mourinho's Chelsea in 2005 was at an average age of 24, which is the same as our average age when we challenged for the title. So if you have the right man who can teach these guys how to win, you can win things. But in terms of like where we are at this moment, no disrespect to you, Jack, but we have to. If we're going to win the title, we've got to beat you. We've got to beat Nottingham Forest, and then we've got to beat Liverpool as a 6-pointer. If we don't beat you, we don't beat Nottingham Forest. Liverpool is not a 6-pointer. It's a game where we will have to cement our place in the top 4. That's how the position is.
Kenny, I've got a question for you. I've got a question. Yeah. I ain't got a clue on this one. True says, how many London derbies have Arsenal played won?
Bloody hell. I think True Say knows. I don't know, but I think True Say knows.
That's some question. I'm going to have to look that up.
You know, a minute ago you were saying, like, on when you was doing the worst Arsenal players, and you said your 2 strikers, what was they, Shamak and Sonogo? Where did they both end up at?
Bloody hell.
No idea.
They ended up
you
at
guys. Palace.
Yeah. Shamak wasn't bad for us. He actually wasn't that bad. But Sonogo, oh my God.
Yeah, but
that's why he went to Charlton Athletic. That's more his level.
Yeah, the thing that made me laugh, right, is that Rob Holding, how can he not get a game at your club? Who's keeping Rob Holding at your
Gailey and
team?
Anderson.
Oh, fair enough.
When we got Chris Richards, we bought from Bayern Munich. He's better as well.
Yeah, you see the situation. You know when I look at that, if for you to win on Saturday, if your back 4 plays well, you'll win.
We got Tyreek Mitchell at left back as well. He's okay.
Yeah, he's and then right back you've got
Nathaniel Klein.
You've got Ward, isn't it? Was that
Nathaniel Klein's playing at the minute because
what's that to Ward?
Ward's injured. Injured.
Oh, right. So the thing with Nathaniel Klein, he does leave gaps at the back.
He is susceptible, yeah.
But we're not playing well enough to bridge that gap. We're not playing well enough to.
He's been playing okay as well, Klein, lately. He's been playing well okay.
Yeah, midfield. You've got midfield. You've got who you got midfield? You've got
Jefferson Lerma at the minute.
Loma.
And it will either be Will Hughes or Chris Richards. And Chris Richards is a centre half, but he's filling in at centre mid, and he's been okay.
What about who's going to play up front for you? Mateta.
Well, the lineup today, when we played Everton, Edouard started. So whether Roy trusts him to play a full 90 minutes, or whether he'll play 60 tonight and come off. But it'll either be Edouard or Mateta. We don't have many options. And we'll be playing Eze in behind them, and then you've got your wingers that will either be, I don't know, probably Schlupp or someone like that, or França, Mateus França from Brazil. He's been okay. He played against Everton in the first leg, and he done okay. But he's like when the Brazilian young kids come in, they need a bit of like beefing up because they get barged off the ball quite easily. But he showed promise when he better show promise as well at 26 million quid.
Hey, talking about
here, Aaron says, according to Opta, no team has won more Premier League London derby matches than Chelsea. 128, level with the Arsenal, while only West Ham 100 have lost more such games than Tottenham 87.
That shows you how crap we are. We're not even on there. That shows you how bad.
Yeah, but but they're talking about top flight games, isn't it? Like in terms of, this season only. Oh, in terms of North London derbies, we beat Palace, we beat Brentford,
Chelsea.
Drew Chelsea, lost to Fulham, drew Spurs, lost to West Ham.
One.
No, we lost to West Ham.
No, one London derby, no?
Oh, as in one during the season. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but for a club like Arsenal, my uncle, like rest his soul, he was a big Arsenal fan. He had season tickets at Highbury and at the Emirates. And I know just through talking to him that losing to West Ham and Fulham and us and whoever you lose to is unacceptable for a club like Arsenal.
Yeah.
Losing to us or West Ham or Fulham, anyone, that's unacceptable.
It is. But the fact is that, it's plausible to lose those games if you're not at it, not playing well, because, with the exception of, Sheffield United, Burnley, and I say Luton Town, every team in the Premiership has some sort of quality.
Yeah.
You can lose to these teams. You can.
It's like you said, Kenny, your athleticism gets you out of it.
Yeah, but you look what happens now. If teams match us for that athleticism, then that sort of neutralises that one of our major strengths. You know what I mean? Let's face it, we're not scoring last-minute goals. We're not even getting equalisers.
No, we're not. No.
Yeah, and therein lies the problem. We're running out of ideas. You know what I mean?
I remember when you got a last-minute equaliser against us at the Emirates in one of Vieira's first games. That was a kick in the nuts. That was a proper kick in the nuts.
Yeah, we were easy again.
Sorry, mate. Jump in, mate. Sorry. Yeah. Oregon Gooner says, Jez, here we are again, mate. Jan, almost done and not one player in yet. We're being lied to again by Eddie and Mikel. Time for a new direction 2024. Yeah, well, there we go. We won't see it, but there we are, mate. Go on. Sorry, Kenny.
I remember Kenny's he done a fan cam on Lee Judge's channel. And he was saying that when people were saying if you can't see the process, you can F off down the lane. And Kenny goes, this is the crap that these people are coming out with.
Yeah.
He was wrong back then.
You know what I actually said? I said, you can F off down the lane. I said, actually, I'm going down the lane to watch us play in the North in an away game. So yeah, I'll see you down there then.
Yeah.
But no, that was hard. That game was hard for me to see. That last minute.
Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap this up shortly because I've got to go for dinner. But
yes, I've been called for me dinner as well.
Jack, mate, thank you for coming on.
No worries, Jez.
I've got you now on Insta, so
Anytime, mate.
I'll be getting in contact with you, my friend. And please, mate, shout your channel out and where we can find you.
Do you know what? I don't. This is why because Carl Rossi asked me. I don't have a channel because I can't stand the BS. Like when people, if someone doesn't agree with you, yeah, the way you go about it is through a gentleman's conversation. Yeah, but these people, as Kenny calls them, pork chops. Yeah, they can't take another person's opinion.
No,
they just can't. And lots of the fans at Palace love Parish and all that. I'm not a fan. And when you say it, they go, "Oh, but he saved the club 13 years ago, mate. Time moves on."
You see, that's the thing. That's the thing. You know, obviously, right? I'd love to talk to you and other Palace fans about. Are you sure about Simon Jordan versus Steve Parish? Because that's always fascinating me.
I'd like to see that in a ring.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
He's a bitter man. He's still bitter, isn't he, Simon Jordan?
He is. He doesn't like. He never gives Parish really one bit of praise at all. Well, at the minute,
he doesn't. He won't watch you play. He said he refuses to go and watch Crystal Palace play because it hurts him so much. Because his words were they took something that didn't belong to them from me.
But whose fault's that?
Exactly.
Whose fault's that?
You've got to love it, really. Kenny Ken, man, thank you once again for coming on.
Jack, nice to do a probably up.
Of course, Kenny, man.
Pleasure. See you again for our weekly podcast next week.
Hopefully, Jack. No, hang on, you got to shout out where we can find you first.
Oh yeah, you can find me at KennyKen1972 on Instagram. Hopefully, next week when we do this show, we're talking about a win because I tell you everything, we lose against Palace. And it's a big possibility that we either lose or drop points. I think we're going to be really two grumpy men. Forget the old. Just grumpy.
2-0. You'll be safe. 2-0. You'll be safe.
Yeah, we need it big time.
I'm not holding my breath on that, man.
You'll be all right.
I'm not confident. I wouldn't be surprised if you beat us.
I should be confident, but I'm not.
You'll be all right.
We've come back from warm weather training back to like 4 degrees. Can't make it up, can you? But everybody, thanks for watching. Smash the likes up. If you're new, please subscribe. It does help the channel. I'm on my way to 5K, and I want to get to 5K. I want to get there.
You'll be there soon, Jez.
And thanks, Jack, again, mate. I'll be having you back on.
No worries, man.
Not just talk about Palace, but general chat. I do general chat shows as well, football.
Yeah, I like general chat, man. I love general chat.
If you want to come on for that,
takes me away from the depression of my football club.
Well, I do have other idiot fans on, you know, like the Yeti and
you can't say that about Yeti.
I'm joking. I love it.
No, Yeti's great. Yeah, but the thing is, reason why we're hard on Yeti because every time Yeti's losing an argument, he just talks about those 2 European Cups and we just keep quiet. We can't say nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing else to say.
He takes the piss out of me all the time, man.
I just want to say about that. You know, there was that thing earlier on, weren't there, about that the CEO of the Premier League was sitting in front of that panel, wasn't he? And he was calling Forest pretty much Everton and Forest small clubs. And I was like, oh my God, how could you call Forest and Everton small clubs?
Yeah, but that you know, at the end of the day, that's not a football man. That's an accountant and a CEO, a professional CEO who doesn't know anything about football.
Did they win it twice, Forest, the Champions League?
Yeah,
they won it twice.
Yeah, how can you call them a small club?
Yeah, on the bounce.
They won it 2 more times. They won it 2 more times than we have.
Yeah,
and they've won a lot more league cups than we have as well. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're out of here.
Yeah.
Do the outro.
Anyway.
And take care, people. Speak to you soon.
Later,
Come on, the Arsenal. Come on, the Arsenal.